myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's the drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long Gone Podcast with me, Michael, and with me as always, singing about Choates with his daughter dancing in the background. S-Man.
What up?
Steve Ford.
How's it going, man?
Hey, man. It's a time of giving in this podcast.
Yeah, for those who are not watching us on video, my daughter decided to make an appearance in the background here.
And there she is.
Yeah, about to bring her to the mic and be on the show, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Exactly. Speaking of Christmas, a gift came early to Toronto and to the Orioles.
Yeah. Well, the Orioles did something, huh?
Yeah, the Orioles actually did something. I don't think anybody's seen them signing Ryan Helsley. I didn't think that was even on their radar.
Nope, that was a shock for me. I'll say that. But yeah, one of the premier pitchers. As far as relievers and that, and he goes to Baltimore to shore up that bullpen. But you know what? Still need starting pitching there. So Godspeed.
Well,
are they going to convert him?
That was, remember that I'm sure you said that because you heard the Tigers rumors about if they were going to go after him. It was one of the pitches to him, and what they were thinking was possibly bring him into the rotation. He's tried that before. And he actually wasn't a horrible pitcher, but he couldn't go the distance. That was a big thing on him, was just kind of going farther, right? But in today's MLB, I mean, going 5 innings is a starting pitcher.
I was going to say you're an ace at that point if you're going 5 innings.
You really are.
Kind of reminds me of Phil Koch. Remember when the Tigers tried the Phil Koch starting experience?
Yeah.
Where he was in the bullpen, then became a starter, and we're like, yeah, he sucks at that, so we're going to move him back to the bullpen.
Well, we both had it wrong, actually, with, I think, looking at our...
let's look at the free agent movers here.
Yeah, let's see. I had him going to the Giants.
Okay.
Which didn't work out. And then you had him going to the
Cubs. Swing and a miss on that one, huh?
Did this team fall asleep? What's going on here?
Jeez. God. Oh, well, yeah, we both went NL, and he decided to go AL.
Yeah. Hey,
totally different coast.
They're getting a good pitcher. I mean, the Orioles needed to do something. We knew that their pitching was pretty bad last year, but not as bad as their hitting. I'm actually scared for the Orioles because their hitting completely disappeared last year. Completely disappeared. Yeah, guys that were like high prospects were just not hitting anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Adley Rutschman, who's supposed to be this future of the game here, just forgot how to hit and stay healthy for that matter. But,
remember Gunnar Henderson wound up second MVP a couple years ago, the year before?
Wasn't second in MVP this year, was he?
No, he did have a better second half for sure. But to get to that point, I mean, it was like, hey, let me have, almost 80, 90 games of dog shit.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out for them. I think, and you and I talked about how disappointed we were in the Orioles last year.
Uh-huh.
And, it was one of those things like, what are they going to do? They're going to need to bring in, I think, some more veteran bats. But starting pitching, it still kind of haunts them. They traded away Grayson Rodriguez, which was kind of interesting, but he kind of has an injury history.
Right.
So the Angels are like, sign us up.
Yeah. That's the Angel way to go, right?
Yeah.
Can we see that they just got Alek Manoah?
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was a little crazy about the Alek Manoah one. I didn't really think, that I thought he was out of baseball, but I think it's good that
I did too.
But he's
it's
a guy
the Angels' way. All right, let's resurrect
like Clanahan with the Rays. It's just that lingering injury that you ain't gonna see him for 2 years kind of thing, and that's what happened with Manoah. But remember when he came back, he was dog shite, and then now look at him. So, anyways, Orioles, they get their closer finally, and then the Devin Williams goes to the Mets, which kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. Based in New York, just a different New York.
And the Yankees were really interested in signing him, but I just didn't think they wanted to pay him as much that the Mets were paying him for.
No,
which
I don't blame him. It's he was very serviceable for them. In the pen there, but it's a bullpen arm. You're not going to pay through the roof for a bullpen arm unless you're the New York Mets.
Right? No, you're
Case
right.
in point, Edwin Diaz.
Well, right. I mean, Steven, if you're the New York Mets, you're at a point now where you're like, listen, we fucked up so bad last year. We spent all this money and we didn't even make the postseason. So to fans, I mean, they're just like disgusted with that team, and you can't spend that much in payroll and not even make the playoffs, not even sniff a fart of a divisional series. So
yeah, yep.
They're going to have to be aggressive this offseason. I don't know if that means they're going to spend a lot of money, but Devin Williams, I don't think it was a bad contract, but it does show a tale of two different teams and where they're at, right? And then the Mets are in like, we need to win now, or we're just going to have to completely rebuild and break this down, but they're not admitting defeat yet, which is good because this just happened. Then you got New York Yankees, who are actually being cost savvy a little bit. They're like, listen, I think we're going to push all our chips in on one or two big free agents, but we're not going to overpay for anybody.
Right. Yeah, they're taking a very sensible approach here, and it's very smart. Are they having some buyer's remorse here with the Garrett Cole contract, where the guy isn't even going to be, didn't pitch at all last season, and isn't even going to be back till probably halfway through this coming season?
Yeah, it's rough.
After pumping in all that money, they're looking at it like, all right, we can't. It's a gamble doing these contracts like this. Giancarlo Stanton, that guy's finally going to be off the books here in a little bit. All the money they had to pump into him. So they're, of course, taking a very, very smart approach here, looking for, upgrades to their team, but not going to break the bank. So,
yeah,
very, very good on them.
Very good. Now, the move I think is the biggest I don't even like this move was the Dylan Cease to Toronto. I think they way overpaid for this guy. I don't understand.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm like,
$210 million.
$210 million, and it's there's $64 million in deferred money. He's going to get paid through 2046.
Yeah, he's the Bobby Bonilla of now.
He's not even that good. I mean, that's pretty much $210 million. Now, how much is Scooble going to get paid?
I mean, does this set the market? Not set the market, but does this make the market a little bit more?
It inflates it more, I think.
Well, and they're around the same age, Dylan Cease and Tarik Skubal. So, I mean, but here
they're not the same pitcher,
right?
Skubal's a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner. Dylan Cease had an up and down year in San Diego this past year, and he's good with the White Sox, but hasn't really shown it as much when he was in San Diego. And the guy gets over $200 million.
Yeah,
that's
Here's my thing about Cease. I remember when he came out for the White Sox. Remember, he was a part of that great. You should have heard the rumors.
Should have heard the rumor prospects right there, where Tony La Russa is still sleeping in the dugout.
Right, and you had Lou Bob, who the ceiling was the highest. You had Eloy Jimenez, the man with glass bones.
Tim Anderson,
Yoan Moncada. Remember that?
Oh, mm-hmm.
And Steve, it just never worked out. But you had Dylan Cease, who was kind of a high, remember Lucas Giolito and all that, but Dylan Cease was a high-rated prospect. And I get it, right? I mean, this guy's a flamethrower. I mean, he comes hard. I never thought Garrett Crochet would be atop a guy like that, but he did. And Dylan Cease is serviceable. Like, you look at his best year was probably in 22, right? And he's definitely a guy who can get you over 200 strikeouts a year. I don't think he's a walk casualty. I really don't. My big problem with he's like Casey Mize. He starts out hot, and then he gives up that one or two, which leads to just a windfall of runs after that. It's like I think this guy has a major confidence issue on the mound, and I think
I agree.
Pay him $210 million. You know how many pitchers out there are talking to their agents right now? They're like, dude, if I pitch
Dylan Cease is
ERA, I can get $200 million. Are you serious?
Yeah. If I can go 22 and 23 in the last two seasons, you're telling me I can get $210 million? Sign me up.
There's a chance.
Yeah. The guy's coming off what? He only got he sucked. He was under 500 last year,
and it's not for lack of run support. I mean, I look at I'm looking at his starts right now, and a lot of it was just poor pitching. I mean, he was 8-12 last year, but he had a hell of an offense behind him. Was it the San Diego Padres' best offensive year? No, but I thought they had an okay year for the most part. I mean, if you go look on Baseball Reference, he's projected to be 9-10 with a 4.20 ERA. Man, baseball's got to quit lowering their fucking standards when it comes to pitching.
You know what? Sign him up for the Hall of Fame now. All right.
Yeah, this guy should be in the Hall if we're talking,
first ballot. All right.
No, first ballot. So I mean, Steve, to me, it's a disappointing signing for the Blue Jays coming off a World Series.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be their big splash right here. You're going to overpay for a guy who's under 500 and ERA over 4.
Right.
Wah wah.
Yeah, I mean,
why isn't that money going to Bo Bichette? Right.
Amen to that, dude. If if they blew their nut on this dude and let Bo Bichette walk, the fans are going to eat that team alive.
Yeah. Yep.
$200 for Cease is an overpay. I even think $100 million is an overpay.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
to me,
too.
I think a Maeda contract would be better just because in terms of what it should look like, just because Cease is 29, he's still young, and he gets you high strikeouts. I mean, but to me, he's not that guy that can sniff a win and capture a win. I mean, that's like winning in the NFL. It's like there's certain quarterbacks that just know how to win. That's something you can't teach.
Yep.
And I think with pitching, it's kind of the same, where it's like Jack Morris could always sniff a win. For Justin Verlander, I mean, I've never seen a guy take over a game and just like literally the guys behind him are like, we're putting all our faith in you. Go and take us home, and he can. But when I look at Dylan Cease, I'm like, what? This is your backup? To me, the best pitcher on Toronto right now is still Shane Bieber.
Yeah, I agree. Bieber and Gausman, I still think are
Gausman's always
than Cease, so you spent over $200 million for a guy who's most likely going to be your third or fourth starter. Fantastic job, Toronto.
Like you just said, though, if you don't about the Bo Bichette thing, that should go to Bo Bichette. And if they don't sign Bo Bichette, Steve, that's the biggest swing and miss of all time.
Yeah.
Unless it's where Bo Bichette wants this ridiculous. Like, what does Bo Bichette even want? You know what I mean? If he wants a $300 million contract, he can pound sand.
Yeah, he's not worth that, I don't think.
No,
not even close. Yeah.
No. So that's an interesting concept. I think I just seen Cedric Mullins signed with the Rays today. I thought the Rays were going to be quiet in the offseason, but I think that's a pretty decent signing. They need a veteran outfielder.
Well, maybe that'll be like their Athletics signing. How the Athletics last year went and got Quintana or whatever. A pitcher that we weren't expecting to go.
Right.
The Athletics went there. This is Cedric Mullins to the Rays. This will be like their big splash for the offseason.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Cedric Mullins.
The Rays, I think, are a team too. Remember how we were always bitching about the Tigers? Like, man, these injuries, we got to fire the trainers, and I think the Rays are at that point too. Yeah, I just too mmany ridiculous injuries that just plague that team, and
the whole Wander Franco thing. That's a whole
that's isn't that's something we're gonna look at 10 years and say, hey, remember that time? Like, it's because we kind of swept under the rug because it's not an in-state case, it's not a United States case.
So we're not hearing about it, but
I
mean, the guy, I remember, I got his rookie card, a couple of them. I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to these things. It's gonna be great. And then the whole thing happened. I'm like, nope, I don't even want to wipe my butt with these things.
Yeah, so. I mean, they're not even the cardboard's more than the actual player that's on the card at this point. So that's interesting. A lot of different offseason moves are taking place right now. I think still Josh Naylor points as being the best one so far, but obviously
for sure.
Once Kyle Tucker and some of these other guys sign, then in Schwarber, I think that's a big one. That will definitely move the needle a little bit more. But an offseason move that nobody's talking about, that we're going to talk about it because you and I are so out on this guy. And he hates baseball and he's a Major League Baseball player, is Anthony Rendon. Angels are looking to buy him out.
Are looking at buying him out, and pretty much, I mean, this is a guy who we've given so much crap about because he said baseball's not his priority. He's gonna most likely, if the Angels do intend buy him out, he's just gonna retire. No shock there. Yeah, God forbid he goes and actually tries and plays anywhere else. I mean, this has to be hands down one of the worst contracts I've ever seen.
There's been some shitty ones.
Coming off a World Series, great, career there with the Nationals. The Angels go, back up the Brinks truck for this guy, and he takes the Brinks truck and takes a massive crap in it,
I never seen, and there's probably so much we don't know about Anthony Rendon for sure, but it's a bad contract. I mean, I got the numbers right here. 7 years, $245 million. That's an AAV of about $35 million a year, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
He signed signing bonus for $4 million. So his expected salary coming up for the 26th season is about $38.5 million. Pretty insane. Now, this may come as a shock to you. Might be you might want to sit down. Oh wait, you're already sitting down. Rendon is expected to retire if the Angels buy him out.
No way.
I mean, why not? He's a fucking millionaire.
Tell me he doesn't want to play anymore?
Yeah.
God.
What's there to play for? The guy's won a World Series, got paid. He's he is the prototypical place for the money type of guy. And here we are. He's going to retire if they buy him out.
Let me riddle you with some stats here. From 2020 to 2024, Rendon hit a grand total of 22 home runs.
Ick.
In 2019 alone, his last season with the Nationals, he hit 34.
That's ick. That's ick.
Oh my God, what the hell, man?
A Chris Bryant contract has to be up there.
Yeah, the one that he's holding ransom over the Rockies. Said he hated
baseball.
He just hates the Rockies.
He just hates the Rockies. Insane. I don't know.
Oh my God.
The Angels are probably like, what did we do? I mean, this was the guy that was supposed to be part of the three-headed monster of him, Ohtani.
Trout. Yeah.
And Rendon wasn't even a third wheel. He wasn't. I mean, I think the Bat Boy played more than Rendon did in the last 5 years.
He's the person. He's essentially the person, the threesome there that's off sitting in the corner looking all creepy.
Yeah, he's the one taking the pictures.
Yeah.
On a side note, look for Nolan Arenado to sign or get traded to the Angels if they buy out Rendon. I could see them bringing in. I don't know though, because if you're buying out a $38 million contract,
God,
you want to take on Nolan Arenado's 1-year deal?
I mean, with the Angels' track record and what's happened to them in the past, I'd say that's a hard pass. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they might, they're already paying Mike Trout all those ass loads of money for his little bits of work that he's done too.
That's true.
You gotta be that ownership. And I could see where that buyer's remorse comes in. You look at, they signed Trout to that $500 million contract, and he has not lived up to it since he's gotten paid his contract, and then you pay Rendon all that money, and he definitely hasn't lived up to it. Then you land Shohei Ohtani, try to get him to come back, and he's like, nah, I'm going to the Dodgers.
He's like, I'm good, bro.
I'm good, bro. All right, deuces. And you're like, all right, well, Alek Manoah is still out there. I guess we'll go with that guy. All right,
cool. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, they've gone and spent from time to time, but they don't spend their money wisely. It seems
they never have.
No.
It's a team lacking leadership, and I think it starts with the ownership. And wow, I didn't think this would be turned into an Angels downer of a podcast. But, I think they're a good franchise. They've won a World Series before. They've had stars on that team, productive stars.
Yep.
And I don't know. I people years from now, if they still continue to be bad 20 years from now, 10 years even, they're going to say it's the curse of Ohtani. But you and I know, and fans know, that the trouble started way before Ohtani even walked in the building.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
They never put anything around Mike Trout. Pitching. I mean, I don't know how many. It's like case in point, Alek Manoah, Grayson Rodriguez. You got guys with huge injury histories, but they're like, let's bring them aboard. It's like, come on,
aboard.
Like,
we're gonna hitch our cart to these two horses. All right, cool.
Yeah, they're always doing that shit. They did the same thing. They were like a couple years ago with Tyler Anderson from the Dodgers. It's like, he's your sixth best starter. Let's get him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get him. Let's do it. It's on.
It's bullshit. So in keeping with that, this week we're gonna do a GM for a day. There's something we do a few times a year. We always do GM for a day, and we usually work on the shitty teams. But this week because we've been talking about shitty teams and bad deals, we're actually talking about good teams. We're each going to pick a good team that's not worse off, but could maybe improve to get them to that next step, right? I mean, you have one team who just recently went to a World Series, didn't win it, but was recently in a World Series. And then you got another team that's vying to get back to the World Series. But, it's been almost going to be a decade this year since they were last in the World Series. So, Steve, give me what team you decided to put your GM hat on for a day for, and what moves are they going to make with their final lineup, their bench? Lead them to promised land, Steve. Who do we got, and what are we doing?
All right. Well, just call me Steve Cashman. I'm going to go for the New York Yankees here and put my GM hat on for them. Like Mike said, they recently made the World Series in 2024, and tied for the division this year, but lost the tiebreaker to Toronto. Solid 90+ win team. Aaron Judge obviously is Aaron Judge, Mr. MVP, Mr. Everything to the New York Yankees. I mean, if there's one thing I looked at with the team, with the Yankees, it wasn't the offense that was bad. They could score runs, but the starting pitching was kind of sus. You had Garrett Cole out for the year. You had Max Fried, top of the rotation guy, but you had some ups and downs. You had some of the youngsters come in with Schlitter.
Dude, every time I see the name, I want to say Schlitter.
Yeah, seriously.
Just the same as you just did.
Schlitter and Warren. So you had some youngsters coming up near the end, but the starting rotation was kind of rocky. So what I want to do, if I'm the Yankees here to get them back into the promised land, so to speak, and compete for the division and go deep in the playoffs, is I really do think a Yankees and Cody Bellinger reunion is in the cards here. I think he enjoyed his time there in New York. They'll pony up and pay him a little bit more. I just it seemed like a good fit there. Him in the outfield there with Judge. It worked out well, and obviously they brought back Trent Grisham, so Mr. Mustache is going to be there. So you solidified the outfield with Grisham and Mr. Judge, and then Cody Bellinger. So I like try and re-sign Cody, and then they're going to make a run for as I talked about in our free agent breakdown, for Tetsuya Amai. Great pitcher there. To try and shore up that rotation a little bit, so they'll get in the mix and get him. As I talked about, and like I said in the free agent show, and then I talked about them signing another pitcher in Chris Bassett, and so I think they're gonna do that. And they have kind of a glaring hole with Anthony Volpe having shoulder surgery. He'll be out for the first little bit of the season, so you can either promote from within, or in I think the Yankees case, get a serviceable veteran to come in. So a guy we didn't talk about in our free agent show, but Miguel Rojas is out there. Yes, I think that they'll he's in his 30s. They'll bring him into a probably a 1-year contract or something like that, just to kind of be that shortstop kind of stopgap until Volpe can come back later in the season. And then you're going to call up. I think you're going to call up some of your prospects here. You got a right-handed pitcher in Carlos Lagrange. Very, very solid right-hand pitcher. Could be in the bullpen, could do some spot starts. I think you'll call up another pitcher to help shore up either starting or in the bullpen with Brock Selvage, left-handed pitcher there. And then you're going to get a little bit of bench help in your infield by calling up one of your higher prospects in Dylan Jasso. I like this guy. He's on the track, kind of middle of the road prospect right now. But bring them up, get a little youth in there as well. So I think with that, re-signing Cody Bellinger, bringing up some of your prospects, I think that's what the Yankees are going to do here in the offseason. So my final lineup here for the Yankees, I have Trent Grisham leading off, and I have Aaron Judge, and I got Cody Bellinger, who's our re-signing, and then Giancarlo Stanton, his corpse is still there. As long as he stay healthy, he can continue to be an everyday DH. Yeah. I still got faith in him. And I got Ben Rice. They'll move Ben Rice over to first base with Paul Goldschmidt hitting the road jack. Then I got Jazz Chisholm Jr. and then Ryan McMahon, and then Austin Wells. And then your free agent signing at batting ninth of Miguel Rojas. On my bench, I got Jason Dominguez, not quite starter material yet for me. When I got Spencer Jones, I got infielder Dylan Jasso, utility man Oswaldo Cabrera, backup catcher JC Escara, and then shortstop Jose Caballero, who can fill in for Rojas, and then
Ooh, not
eventually,
bad.
we'll get Volpe back into the mix when he comes back from surgery. My final rotation, I actually put 6 of them in there right now because it still could be anyone's guess in spring training. So you got Max Fried at the top, you got Carlos Rodon, you got Chris Bassett, your free agent signing, you got Cam Schlitter. I almost said Schittler again.
Schlitter.
But Luis Gil, and then your Tatsuya Imai. And then obviously you have Garrett Cole. He still is he'll still come back at midpoint in the season. I don't know what the hell you're going to do with him, to be honest. Is he going to be the Garrett Cole of old? I don't think so, because he's reaching that twilight of his career there. So looking into your bullpen, like I said, I want to bring in some of those people from the minors, and
Hell yeah.
if they're not starting, they'll fill in there in the bullpen. You got Tim Hill, you got Carlos LaGrange, you got Brock Selvage, you got Fernando Cruz, Camilo Duvall, Yeri de Los Santos. Some of those guys you saw, they kind of got their feet wet a little bit down the stretch last year, but they'll have more of a fixture in the pen because the Yankees pen kind of had some shakeups there. Like I said, the Devin Williams leaving, and a lot of a couple other people are leaving as well. So the pen will get mixed up a little bit, and then your closer, I gotta throw him in there. It's kind of shaky, but he still can do good stuff, and that'd be your closer's David Bednar. So that's my look at the Yankees going into the 2026 season. I like it.
Right off the bat, I thought that Trent Grisham, I know that he accepted their offer. I thought for their qualifying offer, Trent Grisham, I thought would have been. I think they knew that he would be hotter on the market. I don't think Trent Grisham knew his value as much because I think he could have got paid even more just because he was so down the stretch. He was so good for the Yankees, and you saw just his ability to get on base, his ability to hit for power, his ability. He was never a liability when he did play in the field. I thought that was just a great signing. And you've seen a guy, he was a young player. He's not like an old man now. He's like, 29, 30. No, but you saw a guy finally.
Mustache like a beast,
Yeah, dude, yeah. We saw a guy play to his potential. And I saw that with Trent Grisham. He just fit with the Yankees. Look at him pinstripes, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Cody Bellinger would be a perfect signing for them. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. And right, Cody Bellinger did what you needed to do. If they don't win the Kyle Tucker, I'm okay with that. I never thought Kyle Tucker did that great last year. Everybody's saying he's the prize of free agency. I don't think so. I think Kyle Tucker's a hell of a player, but I haven't seen a consistent breakout yet. I mean, he's good in spurts, but he's not good. He hasn't been good all the way.
And he's shown that he can get himself injured from time to time the last this past year and then the year before that in Houston. So
right. So there's a lot of trepidation there with that signing potentially. So I think, going back to if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think Bellinger proved that he's good. I think Bellinger would love to go back to that West Coast. He's a West Coast kid. Yeah. I think he would eventually want to wind up there. I think I have him going to the Giants in my prediction. I'm not sure. Yep. But I think for real, I think that's where he'd want to go. But I think this is where he belongs. I even thought he did good for the Cubs. I'm surprised they let him walk.
Yeah, that was a shocker too.
My favorite player other than Aaron Judge on this team, I think, is Jazz Chisholm. I think he means more to this team than we think. Than most.
It's like he, going to New York kind of resurrected his career because he's the face of MLB The Show, like that fun-loving guy, and then you weren't seeing it as much in Miami that last little bit. And then when he got traded to New York, it was just like a kickstart for him again. Baseball seemed fun again for him.
Yeah. Well, he's an A
which is funny because you got the bright lights in New York. You think the pressure would get to a lot of people, but he's like, no, not me. I'm having fun.
I think I can't remember if he said he was a fan of the Yankees growing up or not, but I do know he was excited to join a winning program. And I know when you're with a team that is just not winning a lot, I'm sure for him he's like, fucking, it probably took a toll on him. But and he took a lot of flack down there. I mean, remember a few years ago, there was those weird stories that the locker room was mad that he was so outspoken and so having fun. It's like, well, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah. Come on, it's supposed to be a job. We all need to be like Rendon, okay, and not like what we're doing here, okay?
Yeah, just be here for the money.
Just be here for the money and don't say anything.
Throw us up.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that movie Rudy. Remember that movie Rudy when Rudy was just trying harder than everybody else, but he didn't have a lick of talent, and the team was mad that he was trying too hard?
Yeah.
He's like, you trying to make us all look bad? No, I'm trying to get you ready for the game.
Oh my gosh. I love Rudy.
Dude, great movie. The real Rudy was a dickhead, I heard, but
yeah. Joe Montana, he did nothing but talk trash about
yeah, Joe Montana went in deep hard. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
I decided I'm going to go in the National League, and I'm going to go with the team that is actually kind of set to go. When I was looking at this team, I was like, there's not really a ton of moves to make.
Yeah.
They kind of just need a few little tweaks here to put them over the edge. I thought last year they found out who their stars are going to be, right? They lost Bellinger. They brought in Kyle Tucker. It looks like they're probably going to move on from Kyle Tucker, which is fine because I think they have some contracts and some low-risk, high-reward guys that can bring in that are actually going to pan out. So Craig Counsell is their manager, right? So we're not changing the manager. I mean, he made the move. You paid the guy. I still think he's a good manager, even though he totally fucking saw what he did to Milwaukee was crazy.
Yeah.
But going to the north side, I mean, you can't blame him going for the bright lights. So, so the moves I think are going to be pretty straightforward, right? I think you're losing a big time hitter in Kyle Tucker, even though he wasn't great for you last year. It wasn't horrible, but wasn't great either. But you need to replace that power. A guy that I think was I don't think he's going to ever have that season again. He just had a really good season, but can still provide a lot of power in your lineup is Eugenio Suarez. I think that's who you go out and sign. I think you could replace the power you lost, maybe gain a little power. Will he be in the long run as good as Kyle Tucker and maybe what Bellinger was? No, but I think Eugenio Suarez is a leader to have in the clubhouse, 1, and 2, he's not a liability at the plate as much. I mean, right, he's not a high average guy, but he can drive in runs. To me, that's not that much of a liability when you need to get a run, not a table setter. You need a run provider, and this guy can do that. They go out and sign him. I think another guy would go out and sign Ty France. Remember Ty France for the Mariners his first couple of years? Wasn't horrible. Had some odd, Minnesota and, a couple of stops there that wasn't great. But I think Ty France has a lot of ball left in him. I look at him like I don't know. You could kind of look at him like a Rowdy Tellez, kind of one of those guys, like just kind of hops around a little bit. Maybe like a Reese Hoskins hops around a little bit, but he can provide you with that big bat when you need it. And at this point in his career, he's just looking for not a payday because he's not going to get it, but he's looking for a team that can probably win. And I think Chicago can provide that for him. Plus, he's good depth piece in the infield. I went out. They need some reliever help. Holby Milner from Texas had actually a pretty decent year last year. Wasn't lights out, but I thought he really showcased what he can do. He just didn't have a lot of offensive help, but he's a really good left-handed arm with what he was with the Rangers anyways. 3.84 ERA, not great last year when you're looking at a reliever in terms of a reliever, but I thought he had his dominant moments, and he's coming into his mid-30s. So you're probably going to get the best out of him at the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, it's hard to say. But I think this is a low-risk, high-reward guy I was talking about earlier. I think they need to go out and re-sign Willie Castro. That every team needs a utility guy. This is your utility guy.
I was going to say everyone needs a Willie Castro.
And didn't he make the All-Star game his first last year?
He did.
Right?
Yep.
Why not? And he's not going to go for a lot of money, right? So I really do think this is the best. Everybody needs a utility guy on their team. Every team usually has 1 or 2 of them on their team. And I think you need to keep Willie because he proved, he's had some moments that are very frustrating for fans, but at the same time, he does have good moments too. So re-sign Willie Castro. And then they're going to call up and keep. They already called a couple of these guys up during the September call-ups, but they're going to keep them up this time. And that's some of their top prospects. Moises Ballesteros, catcher, infielder, good, a real very mature approach at the plate. I think he's number 2 in their prospect pool. He comes up and stays with the team. Going to be a backup catcher as well. Owen Casey. I like Owen Casey a lot. I think this is a guy that can really jump in right away and start getting, he's going to be soon an Ian Happ possible replacement in the future if he, depending on what that contract's going to look in the future. But I like 23 years old, a lot of hit ability to this guy, they say his power is better than his hit, but I really do think his hit tool is going to be up there because they even said the same thing about Pete Crow Armstrong. The hit ability wasn't there. It's mostly power. Well, he proved him wrong because I always thought Pete Crow Armstrong had hit ability into him. So, Yeah, so Casey in there. And then I'm going to have him pull up an arm, Jackson Wiggins, a really good pitcher from their system. He's a top 5 prospect, and he's a guy that will go on there, big right-handed pitcher. I think he's like 6'6", big hard thrower that they can put in there. And then keep this guy is up and down all year, Kevin Alcantara, good outfield prospect. Reminds me a little bit of Ian Happ coming up, but kind of remember Elmora? Remember the Elmora that they had at one time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, or Alomar, was it Almora? I can't really, but he kind of reminds me of him a little bit, but a little bit more dynamic to him. So pull those guys up, keep them there. I think you're going to have to move James Tyon to the bullpen instead of having him a back end rotation guy. James Tyon would be a good relief guy. Ben Brown, I know a lot of people like Ben Brown in the starting rotation, but the rotation I'm about to reveal, I think, is a lot stronger without Ben Brown in it, because I think Ben Brown could be a really good reliever. Kind of like what the Tigers hoped Tyler Holton was last year, but wasn't. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I saw your eyes closed. Like, God damn it, yeah.
Tyler Holton.
And they're gonna make Daniel Palencia their starting closer. I mean, he kind of fell into that role. I think he proved a lot last year, and he's still young enough to where he's kind of like a young Edwin Diaz. I might be jumping the gun on that, but I kind of really like what I'm seeing from him. Just a guy that comes in, throws strikes. He kind of wills strikeouts, which you don't see a lot. He's 26 years old, or he's going to be 26. And I think this is a guy they can really be the future of their bullpen behind this guy. So he's going to be their closer. Okay, my final lineup is going to be Pete Crow Armstrong leading off. I know a lot of people want to put him in the 2 or 3 spot. I'm sorry, but Pete Crow, PCA, can get on base, he can hit for average, he can hit for power. I need a table setter, because the other moves you guys have in there, or with the other moves I have in here, I think you guys have plenty of run producers, but guys have to get guys that can get on base consistently. And that's where Pete Crow Armstrong comes in. I'm going to go with an old school lineup here, Steve. I'm going to put my speed at the top, and then do a little power as we go. So PCA leading off in center field. Second, a guy that I'm going to put Nico Horner in the 2 spot, and he's going to play second base. Another guy that can get on base, Gold Glove kind of caliber player, not a liability at the plate. Another guy that can get on base. If you have 2 guys that get on base, one guy that both can actually bunt pretty decent. But I think this is what you need. And then you put Eugenio Suarez, DH. Don't put him in the field. He's actually a really good third baseman, but I think he's a good third baseman, but I don't think he's as good as a lot of other third basemen, and especially compared to the guy I'm about to mention a little bit. But his bat's more valuable than his glove. So Suarez DH in the 3 spot. Seiya Suzuki, this one could go back and forth, but Seiya Suzuki in the 4 spot, bat and cleanup, and then he's going to play right field. I still think he's a quality hitter. There's rumors coming out of Chicago as he made some fine tweaks to his game. I think he might have a breakout season. More than what he's got. Yeah, he's actually been a pretty decent, solid player, but I think he could break out. So
nice.
Ian Happ in the 5 spot. Carson Kelly came out of nowhere last year. Was a backup catcher, then was a starting catcher. I think he leaves little to be desired at the plate at times, but man, when he's in those hot streaks and he stays hot for a little while, you got to ride that wave. And when you're in the dog days of summer, a guy like Carson Kelly will do wonders for your team. So he's going to be your catcher. And then in the 7th spot, Matt Shaw, third base. I think you had him on your fantasy team last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's weird that I know that, but
probably
I actually like Matt Shaw. Hey, I mean, I know he wasn't like this lights out player last year, but you didn't hate him, right? I mean, he was like,
nope. I never thought about dropping him. We'll say
right, because he was that guy that would kind of like go on these like streaky kind of things, and then he'd cool off, and then you're like, okay, kind of like a rookie, young guy kind of mistakes, and then he'd have a string of bad games, and he'd come back and learn from his mistakes. I don't know. I think he is a pretty decent third baseman, and we'll see this year if it all comes together. So he's gonna be in the 7th spot. 8th spot, Michael Busch at first base. I don't love him at first base, but with Suarez being DH, Busch makes sense at first base, and he has some power. And Dansby Swanson, I never thought I'd say this, is going to be in the 9th spot. He batted at the bottom of the lineup. Remember when they first got him, he was like a top 4 guy.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what happened.
Buyer's remorse.
He had that 1 or 2 good hitting years in Atlanta, and that's kind of carried him in terms of what people think about him. Yeah. I don't think he's that great of a hitter. I think he's an okay hitter. I think he's not he doesn't pick his pitches well. And he doesn't pick his pitches well, and his bat speed pisses me off sometimes. So, but I don't think he's a horrible player. I think he is really good. Realistically, if we're saying best to worst, I would put him probably in the 6th spot. But I think there's I think too many more valuable bats up there. And if Swanson does get hot, or if Swanson does show his full range, or if he peaks back where he was, I think him being in the 9th spot is just as good as having a leadoff hitter, right?
That's a good transition to the top of the lineup. Yeah,
absolutely. Bench, Moises Balstoros, I can never say that name, but Balsteros, catcher. Owen Cassidy in the outfield, Alcantara in the outfield, which I think is great. You're going to bring a lot of rookies in, and might as well get them quality at bats. They're going to struggle early on in the season, but they were up last year for the September call-up, so I think that's great, right? So they're going to have that experience under their belt to carry them. Ty France backing up Michael Busch, and then Willie Castro kind of plugging and playing people's days off will be the bench. Final rotation, Shota Imanaga. Nice. Oh, and I forgot to announce this move. Another move I'm going to put in there is Michael King. I think that's another big signing, another free agent signing. I forgot to put him in my moves. I look for them to sign Michael King. Yeah.
Okay.
To the Chicago Cubs, pitching is more valuable than hitting for them at this point, and I think they know that. And they can't just put it all on Shota Imanaga's shoulders and Cade Horton and some of those guys. You're going to get Justin Steele back from injury. Matt Boyd, I don't think he'll have the same kind of season, but
it's a good. He had a great comeback season last year, but I don't think he can replicate.
Yeah, because we all know this, right? He's had good years and bad years, and he's older. He's getting older, so it's really hard to really hold on to him. But I think he's good enough to be at the back of that rotation. So Imanaga, Michael King, free agent signing. Cade Horton, man, that rookie showed so much promise last year. Up and down, but I think there's a lot in that tank there that's like, oh man, we could ride this guy for several years as in the possibly one day at the top of our rotation. And then Justin Steele coming back from injury. At one time, he was an ace. We don't know what he's going to look like after coming back. Pissed me off because I had him in fantasy, and he went down early. But, fourth in rotation. Then, like I said, Matt Boyd. Penn, James Tyon moving from the rotation to the bullpen. Jackson Wiggins, who I said, you call him up, you keep him this time. Porter Hodge, rough year last year, but I think he's going to bounce back. He's young enough. Ben Brown, you can move him up to the rotation if any of your starters go down, but in the meantime, I think he's going to be good in the pen for him. Holby Milner, another free agent signing, which I said earlier. Phil Maton, who I believe they traded for. They are traded or signed recently. I think they traded for him. Phil Maton, I love what he brings to the table. Hard thrower. He's actually a smart pitcher, which he doesn't get a lot of credit for. And then obviously their closer is Daniel Palencia. Like I said, not a ton of moves, but just the right moves. Mostly you're building this team through prospects, but you're plugging in guys on short deals. Like the Eugenio Suarez, sign him for 2 years.
Yeah. I like this. It's a sprinkling of veterans. This team, I think, the Cubs showed a lot last year, and I think they'll take another step forward this year. I feel like there's a lot of talent there, and then, like you said, you can sprinkle in some of their some veterans to go with it, and definitely try and put them over the top because I think they're very close.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they are very close, and they were battling last year. I mean, in the end, it was the Brewers and the Cubs battling in that, and then all of a sudden
again this year.
Yeah, well, and that division's getting stronger with the Reds. I think the Cardinals are starting to rebuild. They're going to be like the Reds were a couple years ago. I think it's going to take them a couple years to get that traction going, to get any momentum. And then the Pirates have always been a shit show. So
and then there's always the laughing stock. It's the Pirates. Another wasted year for Paul Skeens.
It's sad, dude. Like I said in so many of our podcasts, they draft one of the best teams that draft. They draft so well. They develop incredibly well. They just
kick them to the curb.
They just don't want to spend the money to keep them. Sad, man.
Nope. Yep. So in a couple of years, the Pirates will have that one magical year where they'll make a run and sniff a playoff spot, and then dump all their high-end, guys before it's time to pay them. So
That's
it's
what
the
they do,
Pirate
bro.
way. Yeah,
It's the Pirate way. This is the
it's
way.
the Pirate way. This is the way. Well, that was fun. We got our work cut out for us on next week's show, though, when we take a crappy team and try and polish that turd. So it'll be
Yes.
this will be fun.
Absolutely.
You should pick the Pirates.
Yeah, I'll pick the Pirates. Actually, if you look at my rundown, I picked the Pirates.
Did you? Okay, I was gonna say you pick the Pirates. I'll take the Rockies, and we'll see what happens.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Didn't I? I think I took the Rockies last year.
You did, yeah.
Basically, I think it was last year, and I said just build through your prospects, and that's the best way they can do it at this point. Is just build through their prospects. Because nobody's going to want to go there. I mean, that they already blew their nut on the Chris Bryant signing.
Chris Bryant signing. Oh, boy. Well, this should be fun. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, with that, shall we head on over Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready to ride the next big hobby wave? Market Movers puts the entire sports card and TCG market right in your hands with pricing on over 7 million cards powered by real sales data from every major marketplace. That's including eBay, Fanatics Collect, Golden, Heritage, and more. Track your collection on mobile or desktop instantly, see your value and P&L by sport, year, player, set, or grade. Compare any card side by side, monitor live price swings to spot trends early, uncover underpriced deals, and set custom alerts so you never miss a move. With Market Movers, you turn market data into smarter buys, bigger profits, and a stronger collection. Sign up today and try it risk-free for 14 days, plus get 20% off for life with promo code GONE20 at marketmoversapp.com. Yeah, love us Market Movers.
Yeah. I've we wouldn't talk about it if we didn't like the product. I've been using it a little bit myself, and I'm really liking it. I like that you can really watch what's going on and see your watch your cards in real time with with the sales and just see what kind of trends they're going on here. So love the app. I'm really been enjoying it.
Yeah, same. I mean, you get multiple sports, and one thing I love about it compared to other like kind of products is they have the newest cards already on the market. It's something you don't got to wait months for. When Topps comes out with certain series every once in a while, Bowman, all that. Sometimes you got to wait several months for that
for it to get in the system.
Yeah, for that to get in the system, where Market Movers has it right there. And when you look at their trends, everything's in damn near real time. So one thing I really love about it is just how accurate the statistical aspects of it are when, pricing out a card. So it's kind of like the new version of Beckett, but like on steroids.
Yeah, for sure. And compared to other apps where you have to scan a card in one at a time, you can actually, for your collection, do multiple, in one click instead of trying to go card by card, which could be very time consuming. So
absolutely
love that. I picked out a good one here. Hopefully, it's a current player.
Ooh,
so
okay.
we'll see if you'll be able to get him. I've been sticking with the trend here of a person that spent their entire career so far with one team, and this week is no different. This guy has spent his entire career from 2017 to present with one team. He was drafted actually by the Chicago Cubs in the first round with the 9th overall selection in the 2015 MLB draft. Made his debut with the Cubs in 2017 and has been with them until present. One of their key players on their team. He was a 2022 All-Star. Not only can he do it with his bat, but he can also do it with his glove, as he is a 4-time Gold Glove Award winner. He's won the Gold Glove 2022 through 2025. Current statistics right now on him has him as a career 247 average, 950 hits, 173 home runs, 557 runs batted in, and 70 stolen bases. Kind of feel bad for him as he came in the year after the Cubs won that World Series. So he was with a lot of the World Series clan there, but hopefully he'll be able to get a World Series for himself here in the future. Coming off this past season, he appeared in 150 games, hitting 243 with 23 home runs and 79 runs batted in, 87 runs scored, and 32 doubles. You know who I'm talking about here? Seems like a pretty dope guy.
Not really.
Oh crap! Oh boy. Okay.
How many Gold Gloves did you say?
4 in a row.
What did you say when he debuted
Position?
or no?
17. Outfielder for the Cubs here.
Outfielder for the Cubs, and he okay. So he debuted in 2017. Outfielder for the Cubs. I think I'm getting close to it.
Been close.
How many Gold Gloves?
He's got 4 of them.
4. What position did you say?
I didn't say specifically. All I said was he's an outfielder.
Oh, he's an outfielder. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a swing here.
Okay.
And he doesn't. Does he play for the Cubs?
He's still there. Yeah.
Okay. The only person I'm thinking of, probably might be wrong. Is it Ian Happ?
It is Ian Happ. Yes, it is. Yeah, let's go. A little Ian Happ action there for you. Looking on market movers here, I went with his 2018 Topps Future Stars cards. Got the gold cup on there for him. So second year card, not really high value wise. Last few sales have gone $1, $2.
Yeah,
usually right around that $1 to $2 range. Rarely goes a little bit higher unless it's graded. But yeah, Ian Happ.
Ian Happ, yeah, one of the. It's funny when they start the league. When they start this year, they're going to. He's going to be one of the veterans on the team. One of the
isn't that crazy?
The grizzled veterans that have been there for the longest out of most people out of that franchise.
The grizzled veteran at 31.
He's wild. It's crazy. He's even 31 because I do remember when he first broke in the league. I mean, he came in after that World Series, basically.
Yeah.
He basically came in to be like their everyday guy, but my guy you should get pretty easily. It's a guy that you and I are big fans of. Just straight out, I call him. He kind of reminds me. I don't want to say the poor man's Ronald Acuna because I feel like he's a star in his own right, but he's the next generation of Venezuelan baseball players who are probably going to be great in this league. And the fact that he plays for a small market team is just that much better. He made his debut with the Milwaukee Brewers back in 2024.
All the way back.
All the way back in 2024. Currently, I'm looking at his statistics through the 25 season, 272 average, 42 home runs, 157 RBIs, 43 stolen bases. He's kind of a 5-tool player when you look at it. And he was, they signed him. So remember what we talked about when the teams, instead of being able to pay these players and lose them, instead of, some of these small market teams are like, man, we can't compete with paying these guys hundreds upon hundreds of $1 million when they get of age, right? So we're going to pay them when they're younger and then give them a longer contract. We've seen that with Yoan Moncada. We've seen that with Ronald Acuna. We've seen that with some of the guys, Lubob, things like that. The Brewers signed him for this particular player for 8-year contract worth $82 million with club options for the 32 and 33 seasons. He made their opening day roster in 24, and he hasn't looked back. Had a pretty decent year last year. He had a 20-game hitting streak last year that started from July 2nd, went through July 27th. And during that streak, he hit 392 with 7 doubles, 4 home runs. And, this is a guy that's just lights out for this small market team. But I could give you more, but I think you got this one.
I do. I think I got a good handle on it. Actually, I think his Bob Uecker's last home run call was actually this guy's walk off for this guy.
Yeah.
It's Jackson Chourio.
Yes.
Yep.
Great little trivia, man. I love that. I didn't even know that one.
Isn't that dope? Yeah. Yep.
So I went to Market Movers. I grabbed a card that I already have, and it's a card that's soaring. I mean, there's cards worth thousands of dollars, but I kind of wanted to keep it more within the range of what the normal buyers can get. So I went with a 2022 Bowman Jackson Chourio, the BCP 79. I think it's his first baseball card. It's a Bowman Chrome. One of his first ones. It's been averaging about $25. So in the last 30 days, it's been going for $25 flat, but it started out as, it started out around $34.11. And right now it's on the downtrend, but you could expect that with most players right now, especially younger ball players, because they're coming off a pretty successful campaign, not over the top, right? Not like a Nick Kurtz kind of like over the top,
right?
But he had pretty solid numbers. So right now it's down about 37.5%, but I do see a rise coming up for spring training.
Nice. Yeah, I love Jackson Churio. He's definitely one of those bright spots there. A lot of bright spots in Milwaukee. So
I remember going to American Family Field this past year for a Brewers game, and a guy behind me, I had a Tigers hat on. And he goes, "Do you think the Brewers would be better than the Tigers this year?" And I laughed. I'm like, "No, probably not." I was in the gift shop, and he goes, "Well, we have this kid, Jackson Churio." I'm like, "I know very well.
We know who Jackson Churio is."
And I kid you not, on my way out, because I was going to get a beer, he followed me all the way from the gift shop all the way to 2 concession stands talking me off about Jackson Churio. I'm like, I get it, man.
We get it. He's good. All right.
Yeah. You blowing this guy? What's going on?
You own this guy? Does he live in your basement? What the hell's going on here?
Oh my God.
All right, jeez.
We get it. You love him. Move on. Turn the page. But that's my.
Y'all have more than just him. Nice. We went with two modern players. That's a lot of times we pick the classics, but it's good to dip into those modern players as well.
100% agree, buddy.
Shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, looking online at this particular guy, but if we look on Market Movers, well, you won't see many cards from the days that he was playing because it's been quite some time that he played. But they do have a 1950 Callahan Hall of Fame PSA 8 of this guy, which it goes for about $42 or so. It's a happy heavenly birthday to Guardians great and Hall of Famer Jesse Crab Burkett, born on December the 4th of 1868. Mike, you're going to love these stats. Get ready. You ready? Hall of Fame stats. 2,850 hits, 75 home runs, 952 runs batted in. Started his career with the New York Giants, then moved on to the Cleveland Spiders, then the St. Louis Perfectos/Cardinals, St. Louis Browns, and the Boston Americans. Career highlights: 1921 World Series champion, well after his playing days. 3-time NL batting champion, and part of the Cleveland Guardians Hall of Fame. Elected to Baseball's Hall of Fame in 1946 by, not the Veterans Committee, the Old Timers Committee.
Oh, bastard. Might as well be the same thing.
All right, right. Well, here's a little trivia on Mr. Crab. At his retirement, he had the second most career hits in baseball at the time, and he has the highest batting average of .378 and on-base percentage of .444 in St. Louis Cardinals history. So that mark still stands for the Crab Man. Yeah, how about that? Stan Musial will be damned. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Happy birthday to Jesse Crab Burkett. They called him Crab. I guess he was kind of a curmudgeon. So, yeah, that's how he kind of earned that nickname.
Ooh. Well, happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, there we go. Get a crab.
Well, that's a fucking show.
Yeah, good show, man. Good show. Love doing the GM for a day. Got to pick the good teams, and now we get to really put that GM hat on when we pick the real shithole teams for next week.
Yeah, definitely shithole teams for next week, which are a little bit more of work. Got to put the GM hats on for a little bit longer, try to figure out how to make these real turd sandwiches taste better.
Yeah, that's for
this week was a little easier with the Cubs and the Yanks, right? So, but nevertheless, it's always due diligence. And, by the time we talk next week, we know there's going to be a couple more people signed. One thing I think I found in free agency.
Winter meetings,
right. But have you noticed with free agency we'll say since the Verlander trade, and that's not why it's like this, but we'll just say this. It's been really slow up until winter meetings. All of offseason has.
It has, yeah. And then basically it kind of gets to be a free-for-all for a bit in winter meetings. Then it slows down again until usually the start of the new year. Then people are sweating it out towards World Series spring training, and then we'll get lots of signings leading up to that point. But you're right, it's like a lot of it's like waves here. So you get nothing, and then boom, you get hit with a big tidal wave usually, which is winter meetings, and then nothing for a bit, and then tidal wave again right as we get close to spring training. So
every time,
buckle up.
Yep. Buckle up. It can be interesting. I mean, our free agent predictions, remember, those go right until the season now.
They do. I think, dude, we were into spring training, I think, last year or so, and we still had a couple of ones that weren't filled in yet.
I think it was the year before that. It was Jordan Montgomery. Remember, we were like, man, is this fucker ever going to be signed? And he wasn't until in the season.
It was like was it Blake Snell this past one? Or
Snell, he signed late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, Jesus, come on. Cover
We're
your
like,
ass.
yeah, it took
We get
a
it.
long
You
time.
love your shoes. All right. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. But guys, thanks so much for listening. Be a bud, tell a bud. In the meantime, guys, have a great week. And we have a good guest coming on next week, so look forward to that. But in the meantime, we will catch you guys all next week.
Deuces.